Hi there guys, welcome to today's hypnosis lesson. Today we're going to be talking about golden rule number 2, and this is all about selling the change to the subconscious mind. Let me explain how this works. I want you to imagine that you've got a teenager, and that teenager is trying to decide whether or not they're going to become a smoker. So you can imagine we've got a set of scales. On the one side we've got all the reasons not to become a smoker, and on the other side we've got all the reasons to become one. So we're going to pile reasons on each side and see what happens. Over here, for this particular teenager, we've got my parents had killed me. I might get kicked out of school, my breath will smell, my clothes will smell. It's going to be quite expensive, and I've heard that it's bad for my health. Now there might be other reasons too, but we're going to stick all those over here, so that's quite a lot of reasons over there. On the side to start smoking, we've got one reason. This particular teenager has watched a film where there was a badass gangster that smoked, and they thought, yeah, he's pretty cool, smoking's cool. So over this side we've got smoking is cool. That's it, we've got nothing else at all. So we'd think that all of these things would outweigh this thing and that teenager wouldn't smoke, but that's not the case. This is not about quantity, it's about quality. It's about what value a particular person invests in something. Now our teenager, all of this stuff, that means nothing to them. Most of it's off in the distant future and some of it probably won't happen. They probably won't get caught. But this one thing looking cool, that's incredibly important to them, so the scales tip in the favour of looking cool and the teenager starts smoking. So that's kind of how we make decisions at a subconscious level. We decide which of our options are the best for us and which ones we invest the most value in, and they're the ones that we tend to do. We don't do this consciously, of course, it all happens subconsciously. So what can we learn from this? Well, if somebody wants to change, that's what they are at the moment, this is what you want them to become. What you need to do is you need to find out what that person values, and you need to attach that value to what it is they are going to become. Doesn't matter what that thing is, you just need to attach value to it so that their subconscious mind sees this change as being way more attractive than what it is they are at the moment. So it's kind of gimme, gimme, gimme. You need to dress it up, sell it, make their mouth water and make it like the latest gadget or gizmo that they cannot wait to get their hands onto. Now the way that you do this, first of all you need to know what the change is. Let's say smoking, not smoking. We also need to find out what that person values, which is what we attach to it. Now that could be anything, individual people value different things, so always find out the person's values by asking them questions rather than putting your own on there. We talked about this a little bit in the last lesson. Ask them why they want to quit. They might tell you, because I don't want to die before my years, I want to spend time with my kids, so they value spending time with their kids. Let's put that over there. It could be that they want to look cool in front of their friends. That works for a lot of people, so put that over there. It might be that they think smoking is somehow really social or it relaxes them, so they're the things they value. Stick that over there and attach all these points of value to this idea of being a non-smoker. Then, just as we did before, you really oversell this. You incorporate all of the senses. So you create a reality where that is already manifest for them. You talk about it, including the sense of taste, touch, smell, sight, hearing. You make it as real as possible, you bring it nice and close, you make it mouth-wateringly gorgeous for them. The whole thing's got to be delightful. You crank up the volume, you turn up the colours, and you just make it larger than life. You've got to really make it something that really, really seduces their subconscious mind and makes them want to buy into it. Once you've done that, and you've made all of this much, much more attractive to them with that person's values, their subconscious mind is going to be looking at the options, it's going to be thinking, I could be this, or I could be that, I'm going to be this. This is way, way, way more attractive. Now it's at that point, it's at that point that the person changes, because the subconscious mind thinks, hey, this is infinitely better for me than the thing over there. So we kind of think about that set of scales. It's not about quantity, it's never ever about quantity. In fact, in most situations there are thousands of reasons why a person shouldn't do the thing that they don't want to do, and there's just normally one or two hidden reasons that are keeping them trapped in it. So it's about value for that person. It's about quality, not quantity. If you can get that value, you can find out what that quality is, and you can attach it to the change that they want to become, it becomes easy. Now similarly, the second thing I want to talk about today is this whole idea of giving something up. Give up eating food, give up smoking, give up meat, whatever it might be. The idea of giving something up, it kind of it sort of suggests that you're something, you're going to give something up, and then you're somehow going to be a little bit less than what you were before. There's kind of this, it presupposes this idea of being less than you were, giving something up that you maybe enjoyed to be something that hasn't got that pleasure anymore. And that's not a good idea. Not many people would really opt to go for something that diminishes them in some way. So stop talking about giving something up, just push all that aside. And instead, we've got the idea of being what they are at the moment and the idea of being something else, which is much better because we've attached all these values to it. So that's the idea of smoking. We're not going to give up smoking, we're going to become a non-smoker. So we're going to move upwards to something that's better. Same thing happens with meat. Let's say somebody wants to give up meat and become a vegetarian. Meat eater, give up meat. Meat eater, become a vegetarian. Always look at it at becoming something, so that we've got a movement upwards towards something that is more desirable, rather than a movement downwards towards something that is somehow diminishing what they were originally. And if you can kind of do that, and it's really easy to do. Normally, if somebody wants to stop doing something, then you've just got to flip the thing on its head and look at it in a positive way, which we talked about in Golden Rule number 1. And we can then find the values to that, and we can talk about it as, hey, you're this at the moment. Let's change to this, which is something that's better. These are the reasons it's better, and you're going to base those reasons on that person's particular values. So that's it for today. It's a really, really easy and quick one. It's the idea of getting whatever it is that somebody wants to change to, and then dressing that up, saturating it and selling it to their subconscious mind by putting what they value into it, connecting what they value to this thing. Before we close, I guess I should give you a little bit of an example. Smoking, a lot of people smoke because they believe it relaxes them. So you've got to break that away from the idea of relaxation and smoking, and you've got to connect that idea of relaxation, because they value relaxation, to the idea of being a non-smoker. So you could say something along the lines of, lots of people think that smoking is relaxing, and that's because most people that smoke only take in a nice deep breath when they're drawing on a cigarette. But the problem is that that deep breath also includes lots of poisons that are in the nicotine. Now those poisons aggravate the body and they cause stress, and the body's got to deal with that. So smoking on its own actually causes stress. It's the opposite of relaxation. But you don't notice that, because when you draw in all that oxygen, you get nice deep lungs full of oxygen. That is relaxing. So if we can take smoking out of the equation and we can just focus on this idea of taking a nice deep wonderful clean breath, a lung full of fresh air, that would be much, much more relaxing than what you've been doing in the past. And also it's a lot better for you because there's no poisons including in it. But there's other benefits too. First of all, you can deep breathe wherever you want to. You can do it in a restaurant where smoking's banned and nobody's going to be giving you sideways glances. You're not going to get thrown out or any of that. It's perfectly socially acceptable. Your clothes smell nice because there's no smoke on them. You feel wonderful. It's good for your health. There are so many benefits to breathing nice and deeply. It feels wonderful to breathe lungs full of fresh, clean air, strolling out in the country and just breathing in that fresh countryside. It feels good to do that. You can do it wherever and whenever you choose, and it's completely free. And the more times you do it, the longer you'll live, and you'll get to really enjoy a fantastic, wonderful, healthy life with your family. Now, isn't that such a tremendous and wonderful way to get that relaxation compared to what we used to do in the past, which wasn't really causing relaxation at all? I think they'll agree that it's much, much more sensible to shift over to this new way of creating what they used to get from smoking, which was a bit of a false secondary gain. It's kind of like this idea of doing something that we don't really want to do and getting some sort of secondary benefit from it. Usually you'll find that there are much better ways to get that secondary benefit. So in that case with smoking, it could have been relaxation. And there are a lot better ways to relax than to smoke. And we've just given you one example, which is to deep breathe. So you can give people alternatives that provide what they value, and then you connect them to becoming what it is that they want to become, which in this case would be a non-smoker. And then you sell that to them by dressing it up and really saturating it in a way that their subconscious mind is thinking, I want this. So it's really like it's just like being the latest gadget or gizmo that's just come out onto the market, and it's really sensationalised, and the person is just, gimme, 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 I want this, nothing else we do, I've got to have this, and I don't give a stuff about any of that anymore, this is what I want. And when you can sell something to someone's subconscious mind like that, change becomes incredibly easy. So that's it for today. In your next lesson, we are going to be talking about golden rule number 3. So until then, you take care. Bye-bye.